Yo, what up, people? We are officially live. The Prognosis is back. We're going to talk that Epic Game Store debate that's going on in the community big time. We're going to educate some folks today. We're going to talk Borderlands 3, and we're also going to talk Kotaku versus Bioware. So let's do this.
Flying high as a kite.
Yo, peoples, it's your boy MM2K back again with another one. Oh, yes, I am here. I am here with the Prognosis. All right. Uh-oh, let me mute this because I don't want y'all to get a double feed here. But I'm back again with the Prognosis. You know what I'm saying? I'm waiting for everybody to fill up into the chat and all that other lovely stuff. So while we're doing that, I'm going to tweet this out, talk a little bit before we get into the meat and potato things, but I'm going to make it quick. We are live. Good to be back, man. Good to be back. For those of you that are not familiar with this show, this is my one-on-one format where what I wanted to do is take live phone calls, talk to people via voicemail, you know, answer voicemails and things like that. And unfortunately, the voicemail feature is not working. So I deeply apologize, but, you know, please join us in the chat. Give us your responses. You know how I do. I'm always interactive with the chat. I love y'all all. You know what I'm saying? Straight up, you know. So while we're getting into things and letting the chat settle and all that other stuff, I want to talk a couple things. First and foremost, the PNTS network. Okay. So, for those of you that are not familiar, PNTS Network is the group, one of the groups that I'm affiliated with. I'm also affiliated with Broadband Bullies, and in unison, we are doing some big things out here in these gaming streets. You know what Big Brother Z got going on with the Broadband Bullies. You know, we got some more things coming. Just got to talk to some of my brethren and help dot the I's and cross the T's on some ideas that we're going to flesh out. But in addition to that, PNTS, we're dropping material too. We got the Vitamin G podcast, one of the fastest growing out there. I was looking at the analytics the other day, rapping to my brother, the good man, FC Violent, man. Very talented dude. Talking to him, man. March was a big month, and April looks like it's going to be even bigger. Fastest growing out there, man. They're on iTunes now, Radio Public, all that stuff. So definitely check them out. You can go to pntsnetwork.com and get access to all of our podcasts via there. If it's not up to date or if there's something missing, feel free to reach out to me because we're going through a transition. The website is going to change drastically. And, you know, it's no excuse, but there's a lot of changes happening behind the scenes. So you might see some sawdust and stuff all around the ground at first. But, you know, trust me, we're going to get it together. Now, another reason why I brought up Vitamin G podcast along with Scram Punks, the other weekly show that we run off the PNTS network, is because the good brothers at the Vitamin G podcast are running a special raffle. All right, they have a very customer focused Patreon, right? And you know, for your support, for those early adopters that originally support them, man, they got a decent raffle. So, you know, get into this quick. More details are coming. You know, things are being worked out right now and more details are coming. The raffle, what I can tell you is that the raffle does include one PlayStation game, which will be Days Gone. Okay? It includes one PlayStation game. It includes one Nintendo Switch game. I'm almost like 95% sure what they decided to go with. I'm not 100% sure, so I don't want to step out of pocket. I'm going to let FC Violent and the crew tell you which Nintendo Switch game it's going to be. And it's one Xbox game, man. And I'm telling you, as an Xbox enthusiast, it's kind of hard because we're throwing up against the wall. Like, what is the Xbox game that we, you know what I'm saying? So if you have any ideas and suggestions, we definitely appreciate it. You know, bounce it against the team. You know what I mean? So while we've tweeted all that stuff out, got everything out there, we just close out some things, then we can get into it, man. Glad to see everybody. If you're in the chat talking to me, I deeply apologize. I cannot see you right now. Doesn't mean that I'm purposely ignoring you, because you know what I'm saying. I love the people that rock out with the show. And let's see here. I got one last place to put it. Pause. All right, let's do this. So again, I deeply apologize. We are not going to run the. We are not going to run the. Uh-oh. What happened? Okay. Open the browser. All right, come on. Stop playing around. Stop playing around. So if you sent a message already, I deeply apologize. I did not see it. But okay, so let's get the show on the road, okay? Let me see. We got that there. What else we got going on here? All right. So here's what's going on. Let's get right into the meat and potatoes, okay? Here's what's going on. We have a lot of people that want to chime in on this whole Epic Store thing, right? And I was an original person that chimed in on one particular side, and I had an epiphany. But before I get into that, let me just say this. Let me explain what's going on. So Epic Game Store it derives from Epic Games, the developer, most notably now of Fortnite, okay? And Fortnite is starting to dip a little bit. You know, games like Apex Legends have come out there. They're coming to steal the glory of Fortnite, which is the Battle Royale Supreme. Ninja and Drake were playing it, and that just propelled it to new heights and all this other gibbly-gook, all right? So it's starting to drop a little bit. Still the king, but it's starting to drop. Games like Apex that have wide appeal, not just to the casuals, but to the hardcore gamers. You know what I'm saying? We talked about it on you know, a bunch of Broadband Bullies shows, and we talked about it on Scram Punks as well, where it's just, you know, people are like, Apex is life. So as it, you know, there's a lot of casuals that may be intimidated by Apex or just don't really know that much about it. They just heard about Fortnite through their friends. And they haven't jumped on yet. But I anticipate personally, that over the next several months, you're going to see it grow, and you're going to see it to where it's going to really dip into Fortnite's revenue. Is going to dip into their consumer base. And I think in lieu of that, Epic knows that as well. So in lieu of that, they got to keep the revenue stream up somehow. They got to branch out to other avenues of video game markets, and into they gotta branch off into other video game markets and lines of business. So because of that, they have now fleshed out the Epic Game Store, for lack of a better term, because they definitely haven't fleshed it out. But they've opened the Epic Game Store to include more third-party titles, and they've also worked out deals with devs and publishers where they have a better split than Steam. All right, which is a PC client as well. They have a better split than Steam, and they're allowing people to get an 80-12 split, where the rumor is that Steam is like 70-30. Then I'm hearing that that's not absolutely correct. But that's not the big draw. That's not the big draw where some of these big name titles are coming over. And this leads into some of the misinformation and the crazy stuff that people are running with out here in this community. The big draw, the reason why Epic is getting all these top-notch games on its store exclusively, meaning if you're going to play these games on PC, you got to deal with Epic exclusively. The reason why it's happening is because they are paying, it has been said that they are paying, well, no, they are paying them additional money on top of this 80-12 split, or 88-12 split, I'm sorry. I got to get mathematically correct. The 88-12 split, which is better than Steam's. Not only that are they doing, but they are paying these people additional money on top of that. And it is rumored that that additional money is projected to be more money that these companies are going to make on PC altogether. So just to spell it out for you, let's just say I make a game. I'm a AAA developer. My game is highly anticipated. Epic approaches me and says, look, we looked at all the data and we're able to project that you are going to make 90 million on PC, within your first year. And that's when games normally make the bulk of their money within the first month to 3 months, and particularly really the biggest chunk comes in with the first couple of weeks. But within a year, within a year's worth of projections, I can't even talk, damn it. The Epic is saying that is coming to these companies and they're saying, okay, we're projecting for say that you're going to make 90 million this year. Okay. We are willing to give you 100 million. We're giving you 10 million and you're going to make period on PC. So you're going to be making double the money and some. All you got to do is just come to our store. Come to our store. If you're so fearful that our store doesn't have high saturation and that you might possibly lose money, we're going to give you more money than you would ever make on PC anyway. That's the big time rumor. Big up to content creators like El Boogie, you know what I'm saying, who put a very good video out there that I implore people to go listen to. But that's the big whoop to do out there. So not only is it this 88-12 split that is making people hop over to Epic, but it's more importantly, they're front loading the more money that these people would get ever for selling their games on PC. So of course these companies are saying, well, they're looking at that originally and they're like, oh, we can't leave this money sitting on the table. We'd be idiots to do it. So they bag it up and they take it. And this is where the problem starts. The Epic Games Store, to many PC gamers, does not represent a good enough experience to hoard these games. Like, these are AAA titles. People go to PC for a AAA PC experience, and we're going to talk about what that is and why that's so different from the console experience. And if Epic is going to do that through these means and not really put out a quality product in their minds, they're going to boycott games. They're going to review bomb games on Steam or the previous games on Steam. They're going to kick and scream until Epic stops this. Now, I get where a lot of people may not understand the dynamic here. And I'm not saying that I agree with the narrative on any other side. I mean, I agree wholeheartedly. I do have a side in this. But I'm not saying that I agree wholeheartedly with any side, like everything that each side is doing. Because the two sides are the PC gamers, again, kicking and screaming, not liking this. And then the general public that, really don't game on PC all like that, who are saying you guys are crybabies, you're still getting the game. You're still getting the raw game. So because you're getting the raw game, like, shut up and just play the raw game. That's where we have the problem. Because you have one side that completely does not understand what's going on here because they lack the experience or even lack the intuitive thought process to be able to dwell into what is lacking or not lacking to understand why the experience that they're used to and the experience that they invest in has nothing to do with the experience that a lot of these people are complaining about. And I get it. Let's talk about thought processes. Because here's my biggest thing. This is my old man shaking his fist at the window. Here's my biggest thing about the internet. It's wide reaching. I get it. And it's at an instant. Just like that. Like a Thanos snap, as they say. All right. But what the internet has done is that instead of putting thoughtful, research-oriented minds together The internet instead has become a bridgeway for all the idiots out there. All the crazy ass conspiracy theories, all of the generalizations, that has become more prominent on the internet than actual in-depth due diligence. Now, me personally, my thought process, MM2K's thought process, why you've seen me out here on Twitter basically saying, and let me just say it right now, that I'm against what Epic Store is doing. But you've seen me put out tweet after tweet after tweet after tweet is because I've never followed the idiot herd. I've always tried to be as open-minded as possible. And I've tried to be open-minded when going over topics that I'm interested in, but I may not have the full experience of in depth of knowledge about. I've never dumbed down anything simply to fit my narrative, or AKA caveat information. Too much of that is happening. Okay? So because too much of that is happening, I interject a lot. So let me do this. Let me go to the chat. Speaking of the homie FC Violent, of the very excellent Vitamin G podcast, fastest growing podcast out there. This is how he pays me back for saying all these wonderful things about him. He says, shut this man mic up. He says it's exclusive for time. So tell the PC guys to wait. They wait for everything else. All right. So it's sentiments like that. And Nethos of the Broadband Bullies and of the Scram Punk show on PNTS Network says all are time. Okay. So we're going to get into those notions of basically what they're saying is you guys are making a mountain out of a molehill. There's nothing really to whine about. Just deal with it. It's not a big deal. Okay. But I want to, and nothing against these guys because I game share with Nethos. FC Violent is on PNTS Network. You know what I'm saying? But they're primarily console gamers. As a matter of fact, Nethos, I'm going to throw him under the bus. Nethos got me inspired to become more of a PC gamer. And he left me out there on the porch with an old block of moldy cheese and a wet food stamp when it was dinner time. You know what I'm saying? This dude is crazy, man. And I've been trying to get this guy to play PC with me for the longest after he got me excited. The PC crew. You know what I'm saying? So these are primary console gamers. And I'm not going to say that like I'm a PC master race guy. I'm not. But what I can say is that I have personal experience with this issue. A, because I've been gaming primarily on PC. And B, I've been gaming primarily on PC as of late for the last several months. And B, I've had to deal with the Epic Game Store, where these guys have not at the capacity that I'm talking about. And that's the problem. And that's why I go back to the point to where I say, you know what I'm saying, that I've never dumbed down something simply to fit my narrative. You know what I mean? Because I consider myself a consumer advocate. Now you're like, hold on, this is going left. What are you talking about, MM2K? Consumer advocate? What the hell are you talking about? Okay, so let me break this down a little bit. I started doing all of this content creation or even writing about games, thanks to our friends Best Buy. So you can thank Best Buy for having to deal with your boy MM2K. How did Best Buy influence me? Well, years ago, good friend of mine, call him Nature Boy. He was going to be an original member on Scram Punk's podcast. Big up to Nature Boy if you're listening. Nature Boy, me and him were roommates. So me, him, and his girlfriend, we were big time gamers, all three of us. I'd come home from work, long crazy weekend. I'd work 12 hours, man, from like sun up to sundown, from Friday to Sunday before we all had to go to work on Monday. We would do nothing but drink and play video games and blast music, man. I mean, we was playing everything. So when we first all lived together, homie Nature Boy showed me how I could hook up my original Xbox, right, and my original PlayStation 2 up to a monitor, a computer monitor, and get better, you know, lag response and all other stuff. Just get a better visual output. Never knew I could do that. I needed something called a VGA cord. So I ordered one online. Used it and loved it. VGA cord converts component wires or auxiliary wires into a VGA input so you can connect it to your monitor, which back then they were nothing but VGA. Okay, and I loved it. Big ass, big ass monitor, looked like something off of Buck Rogers from the 1970s, sitting on my desk while I was playing games. I loved it because the fidelity was, and I could never game on the TV again. So one day my VGA cord busted, right? And this is when the Geek Squad at Best Buy started to roll out. That initiative started to roll out. So I'm like, ooh, that's great. Best Buy finally has a bunch of people that are knowledgeable about tech and stuff like that. I ain't got to deal with the normal idiots on the floor, you know, and I say that in a nice way. You know, I can talk to these guys, get some information, find me another VGA cord. Because the place where I ordered it from, they were no longer in business online. So, and I didn't want to wait. That was another thing. Go to brick and mortar, get my new VGA cord ASAP. Because once I had that, I couldn't game on a regular TV anymore. This was before, I think, flat panel screens were even out, right? Or they were way too expensive for my taste. So I went out to Best Buy to get a VGA cord. Talked to Geek Squad. Talked to the first guy at the Geek Squad. I don't know what you're talking about. Okay, fine, that's all right. VGA cords, I know we're not well known to the general public, but you're the Geek Squad, but maybe you're new. He brings another guy. I don't think something like that exists. That's when I said bullpucky. Where's your manager? Because I'm like feeding. I want my VGA cord for my gaming. Bring the manager out. He's like, dude, he's laughing. He's like, dude, nothing like that even exists. Right? I was so angry that I went all the way home, brought back my busted VGA cord, threw it at the rat bastards, and I said, look, you guys got to be the dumbest jackasses out here on this side of the Northeast Atlantic. How don't you know what a VGA cord is? And they just all looked at me stunned, like they're holding the thing, and they're like looking at it like, oh, you know what I'm saying? Like I dropped one of the Infinity Stones in front of them. And I'm like, this whole Geek Squad thing is just a gimmick. You guys are idiots. And as I'm saying that, just people around me. Yeah, I brought this in because customer service was right next to Geek Squad. Yeah, I brought in my computer. They messed it up even more. Yeah, they added more proprietary software to my computer. I told them to take it. They added more. Yeah. And people just start, you know, it started a revolt. So you know what MM2K does when I start trouble and I get things revved up and ready. I take the leadership role and I got the hell out of there. Y'all ain't, hey look, if motherfuckers start throwing stuff, y'all are not catching me. So I left, all right? Left the VJ box there, which made it even worse because it was harder. So it literally took me months later to get a VJ. But after that, I started feeling like speaking out even more. I would not only go to Best Buy and see people saying stupid stuff on the showroom floors, but then I would also go to electronic stores, GameStops, where people would ask the simplest question about games. And these people couldn't answer them. And this was their job. So then I just took it even further. Then with the now listen to all you youngsters now, don't throw up in your mouth. With the adaptation of MySpace, I took it even further. One of the biggest things at that time was separate screen co-op. And as an Xbox gamer at the time, a fan of the original Xbox, I mean, I had all three. I had four. I had a PC, had a, you know what I'm saying, GameCube, original Xbox, and a PlayStation 2. You know what I'm saying? I mean, you had to have everything because there were so many brand new experiences coming out and or even your favorite experience, brand new experiences coming out in with the Xbox, with the Western developed stuff than the shooters. GameCube with its nuanced type of games, you know what I'm saying? I love their games, right? Baten Kaido's one of my favorite RPGs of all times, right? And then you were just a fool if you didn't have a PlayStation 2. Like all your favorite games were on PlayStation. It was stupid. So I had that along with a PC. We played a lot of Walking Dead on PC, right? So we're on MySpace, but one of the things that I saw as a travesty was Xbox was talking about leading innovation, and they weren't leading it because they weren't utilizing a separate screen co-op. They had this system link thing, but it only worked on a couple of games, and those games were trash. Like Brute Force and some other game. I can't remember. And then when they started implementing it in games like, what's that? Oh, shoot. The World Conflict, Epic, it's not Epic, was it Epic? Yeah, I think Epic made this game. I forgot. It was a third-person shooter, one of my favorite games, the Conflict series. When they made Conflict World at War, they utilized the system link thing. But if you know what Conflict World at War is, Conflict World at War is a third-person military shooter game. And you can have up to 4 people playing with you, or you control the other 3. And it brings a system strategy to it because it's a very difficult game. And so when you did the split screen co-op, if it was just 2 people playing, you only had 2 characters. You lost the other 2 people. So we were mad. We were like, hold on. You guys are not, you're not utilizing this properly. So we started a group called the New Age Faction. You can see a lot of our older articles out there, still out there in the internets. We started a group called New Age Faction, where that's what we did. We just lobbied for separate screen co-op. As silly as that sounded, that's what we lobbied for. And then when it came into Gears, the form of Gears, we were like, oh, wow, we finally got what we asked for. And then more games started having separate screen co-op. Then we said, well, what are we going to do now? And then we just branched out into doing full-fledged media where we knew that we didn't represent the majority. The majority is already covered. We represent the minority of gamers that were heavily invested in video games, that play a lot more money in the video games, but wanted specific things. So that, in short, that's why I consider myself a consumer advocate. Okay. But on top of that, I like to be informed because I like others to be informed. So that's, again, why I'll combat falsehoods when I know better. As advocacy for the consumer. But with that said, let me go back to the chat and see what lovely things they got to say to your boy. All right. So, Nethel says, can we get an invite? The hell you can! Carter 1972 said, Metro Phoenix Point Borderlands 3 Outer Worlds 2020 is going to be a good year for me. Violent says, I play more PC than you, Moss. Yeah, right. FC Violent. Okay, so let me address what FC Violent plays games on PC. But what type of games are they? FC Violent, are they utilizing the full breadth of the PC experience? They're not. The games that I'm playing are using the full breadth of the PC experience. The cloud saves, the friendship, the game share. Well, game sharing is universal, and all other stuff. You know what I'm saying? Where you really care about the frames. I mean, the games that you play on PC, Violent, do you really care about how many frames per second you getting on them games? I don't think so. Man, Nethel said, let us learn, send us an invite. You're learning by listening, brother. D Almighty says Steam is greater than the Epic Store. Thank you, my brother. And Cardes 1972 said it's not hard to install Epic, however, and it's not. It's not hard to install Epic, but the Steam store. And thank you for joining, Carter 1972. Appreciate it. It's not about the installation. Let me get into what happened. So, or why I feel the way that I feel about the Epic store. Okay. So here's my original position, right? And I'm gonna be honest with y'all. So this is where we going, like Z said, we're going to take the biggest knife out of the drawer and cut the BS out. I was originally with y'all. Remember? I was originally with y'all. when y'all were saying that this was a bunch of crybaby hoop to do about nothing, my original position was people were crying over the Epic Store. So this is not coming from somebody that is just a fanboy. MM2K, you're lying, man. You are fanboying, man. Oh, I am? Well, let me show you something. This is a tweet that I sent out. Uh-oh. What's it going? I sent this tweet out. Look at little baby. January 30th of 2019. Here's what I did. Here's what I said. This is your boy MM2K. This is me on Twitter at MM2K. For those of you that are familiar, MM2 Toxic. I am not toxic. That's just my form of satire against anybody that has an opposing point of view on social media being labeled toxic. I find it funny. But there's a group of gamers in a particular gaming company, quote unquote, that wants to push that agenda. But I digress. That's a whole nother podcast. All right. I don't want my boy FC Violent to leave PNTS. If I expose who that company is. Hit. No. So this is what I put on Twitter. January 30th, 2019, not too long ago. MFers are acting like Metro on Epic Store is going to make all babies go into spontaneous combustion and send lava flowing into the metropolitans. If y'all so mad, go to Valve instead of whining to the choir and tell them to make the splits more competitive. This ish will end in a Thanos snap. January 30th, 2019. And people were saying, what's the big deal with that? But you know what? I can admit when I'm wrong. I was making that argument from a place of ignorance. I was. I can admit when I'm wrong. Well, it's okay, I was wrong. You're not going to be right all the time. But solely, I was making that argument from a place of ignorance. Because I didn't deal with the Epic Store, right? But I saw the charts, some of the charts that I'm putting out there myself now. And like you, I ignored them as just spin to fanboy for Steam. I did it. I was there. I get it. I completely get where you're coming from. Big up to Tip Diamond in the chat. Big up to Bang House. He says, nice story. I know. I can get logged with the Bang House. Good to see you again, my bro. I appreciate it. But I was there. I get it. But guess what happened? I got up off the ignorant couch and I started doing my due diligence. I started to play more games on PC. Thankfully to my brother Neethles. My brother Neethles in the chat. That left me out there with the wet food stamp and the moldy cheese and said it's dinner time, but wouldn't let me in the house to go sit at the dinner table. Meaning all the mother mugs was having fun pew 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 on the console while I'm out here on PC by my damn self. I started playing games like Anthem and Division, and I dove heavy into them. And those same features that are on that chart that I ignored, that I said was just fodder because I didn't completely understand, that to me looked petty on paper, I started to develop an understanding is that those things separate the PC experience from the console experience. And even though they look petty on paper, I became engrossed in them like the average PC player. And I started to understand why PC gamers prefer the PC. I understood it. And I started to realize that I was growing from a place of ignorance because I was judging this the way something looked on paper. You don't play paper. Paper doesn't have an HDMI port. It don't give you cloud saves. It's paper. So I understood the ignorance that I had, and I started to do more research. And I started to appreciate things like having cloud saves, which allowed me to seamlessly swap from PC to laptop when playing games like Metro Last Light again. And doing this in preparation for Metro Exodus. Gameshare, which y'all understand in the console world is giving one person your in game sharing near. You can game share up to 5 people on PC via Steam. Game sharing gifting allowed me not to break the bank and enjoy a plethora of PC titles with my brother and with my son, as PC games are intended. That's why there's so many of them out there. Third-party codes allowed me to essentially find coupons and discounted deals on even new games. Deals that were more substantial than anything you'll find on Epic, even with Metro. Metro was $49.99. When I was on Green Man Gaming GTA, I saw specials out there that would give you Metro for like $40, if not cheaper. And the list goes on and on. And here's the problem. There's no excuse for, even at the very least, cloud saves to be available from a company like Epic, as far as I'm concerned personally. Epic is not some Roscoe and them startup, okay? You know what I'm saying? Where they wiping the chicken grease all over the Epic logo on their shirt. And they're knocking off banks for startup money. This is not Roscoe and them's. They have plenty of money. They have enough money to wipe their ass with. And not think about it. But instead, in investing in a way meaningful to the consumer up front, instead of doing that, giving the consumer frontline benefits, they decided that they want to create a monopoly. Now, even though, now you're going to say that, you're going to say, oh, hold on, MM2K. What do you mean creating? Ain't that what Steam got? No. Steam is not creating a monopoly. Steam in no way, shape, form, or fashion blocks anybody, pays anything out of pocket to anybody, and says you come to my store only. What Steam does is they front load benefits to the consumer, and they say we're better than everybody else. Try it out and see, and you be the judge. And people say, you know what, you're right, and they come to Steam. That's not a monopoly. You're not forcing anybody's hand anyway. That is the type of competition that I like, because it benefits the consumer. Now, I hear all the time, MM2K, you appreciated Sony's business gangsta, as you say, for crossplay. Why can't you care about Epic's? I'm going to get into that. Because, again, that's a case of where we're mixing apples and oranges. But as a consumer, I'm arguing this straight from a consumer thing. I can recognize Epic's business gangster on doing this. To me, this ain't real gangsterous. Ain't nothing slick about it. To me, it's actually stupid, because I think it's a stupid strategy, because I think it's not going to work for them in the long run. PC gamers are a different animal. Nonetheless, I can completely understand why they're doing it. I can understand it. But as a consumer, I'm going to speak up. Again, that's the consumer advocacy in me. I can walk and chew gum at the same time. I can understand why somebody is doing something of a business move, whether it's cutthroat or not. But I can also judge it, and I think this is stupid. I think that this is done by Epic. It's going to only have momentary gain. Let me give you guys an example. Okay, so right now I'm sipping coffee. Big ups to Devil Shooter. Hey, what's up, Devil Shooter? Long time no see, my friend. So, let me give you an example. I'm sipping coffee right now. The coffee that I'm sipping is from a place called Commonplace. Right down, it's got the best. Go to commonplace.commonplacecoffee, I think it is.com. See, I'm doing free advertisements, man. I'm a consumer advocate as consumer advocacy can be. Commonplace. So I'm even making up jingles and shit. Anyway. Commonplace Coffee, I love it. They've taken me away from Starbucks. I need to go out on my Facebook page and eliminate my work at Starbucks thing. You know what I'm saying? That I got out there. I work at Commonplace. I'm going to change that probably after the show. But to combat places like Commonplace, the local mom and pop shops that are bursting up around the scenes, taking Starbucks to task with their high-ass prices, Starbucks has now created a nitrogen-infused cold brew. I like very strong cold coffee. So they created a nitrogen-infused. I'm letting you know, if you're a coffee drinker and you like cold coffee, nitrogen-infused coffee is, if you're looking for a quick jolt, so you can do something real quick, you can't beat it. Nitrogen-infused cold brew, can't beat it, right? So I tried their nitrogen-infused cold brew. I said, wow, this kind of makes Commonplace Coffee kick rocks. Woo! Took my old ass back flipping and all this other crazy stuff, right? And then, so my coworker, she had asked me, she said, I never seen that. I was like, yeah, it's all frothy at the top. And I have dairy allergies, so they had a way to make it frothy at the top and give me the phone without putting any dairy in it. I was like, ooh, Starbucks got your boy back. She's like, well, how much was that coffee? I was like, oh, it's like $5.50. She's like, $5.50 for that little stuff? Oh, you got your head beat with a cash register. I'm like, whatever, man. So she comes back to me an hour later to talk to me about something. And I'm yawning. And she's like, whoa, hold on. You just got this coffee. You was bouncing all over the place, talking loud. We had to tell you to shut up, doing all this crazy, doing the robot and all that other stuff. And now you yawning? And you pay $5.50 for that, where your Commonplace coffee is $2 cheaper and it lasts longer? Well, so what do you think is the better deal now? And I had to think. I had to think out of a place of ignorance, even though I was excited that Starbucks was quote unquote competing and putting out a brand of coffee out there. Over the long run, the better coffee is the Commonplace, because after an hour, I started yawning. But imagine if you're a coffee drinker and I got 1,000 more scenarios. In that scenario, Starbucks then puts a trademark on all other coffee. It says, now you gotta, if you want to drink cold coffee, you gotta drink cold brew. Well, let's just say in a world, in an alternate dimension, they were able to get away with something like that. That would be competition too. But is that the competition that we want? And we're going to delve into that a little bit later. But again, that's my thing. Epic didn't need to go this way. They're not some Roscoe Thumb startup. Now, here's why I say this discussion has been left in the realm of, has left the realm of intelligence and has entered the realm of ignorance. And what it really does is it makes you console gamers that now want to chime into this, look hypocritical. I mean, I get it. Some of you guys get clowned by the PC Master Race, so this is just your way to chime in. I get you people. I'm not addressing you people. But there are legitimately some of you serious soul console gamers that are perplexed by this, that don't understand this, that don't understand how PC gaming works at all. And you're basically basing how PC gamers should feel based off your console gaming experience. And like I said in Twitter not too long ago, that's like someone trying to do wine taste testing that they had nothing but grape Kool-Aid all their life. It's a whole nother echelon over on PC. You need to step off. You don't have the critical thinking skills. or the experience to even understand what's going on these sides of the streets. Stop! But here's how it makes you look hypocritical. For my PlayStation people, y'all look hypocritical because I got a new name for y'all. 4Dino. The number 4 and the word Dino, like Dino from the Flintstones. And 4Dino means 4 devs in name only. Now, what do I mean by that? Remember earlier when... No. This is what you hear from the ponies all the time. This is great for the devs. Competition is great for... We care about the devs. This is great. Because I've argued with them. I've said, how is this great? It's not great for the consumers. But it's great for the devs. And competition's always great. So if it's great for the devs, it's going to be great for you in the long run. So anything that's great for the devs is great for you. So shut up. Y'all some crybabies out there, right? This is what y'all said. But if y'all was really for the devs, then y'all would have supported the DRM style that Xbox was trying to roll out in 2013. Oh yes, I'm going there. Because that DRM style was going to stop entities like GameStop that were ripping consumers off and then not giving a cut back to the developers and the publishers on the used game market. It was going to help them. They were all for this. When Sony pulled out at the last minute, these mugs were hot. It's well known. It's well reported. But guess what? Y'all wasn't for that because it affects you personally. You fought back. No, you're going to do this to my beloved GameStop. I can't get physical discs. Y'all bugs was cosplaying, gluing discs all over your body. You know what I'm saying? Looking spooky out here. Don't take my physical discs. We're not going to take it. That's how y'all was out here. Y'all was as spooky as my singing just now. So because DRM affected you, it wasn't great competition. Xbox wasn't exhibiting great competition, even though they was helping out the devs. They were forcing the camera to spy on you while you was trying to take a sponge bath, right? I guess my PlayStation people didn't like the prospects of that because y'all ain't want no camera to just flicker on while y'all was on Pornhub. You know what I'm saying? Like, come on, stop it. Let's keep it real. Patricia Scoops says, what are you talking about? This sounds like shit you need to express to a psychiatrist, not a podcast. Hey, I appreciate you, Patricia, for joining, but this is just the way I talk. I'm like Dave Chappelle when he was doing the Samuel L. Jackson impression. You ain't never seen my movies. This is how I talk. But I'm talking about, if you read the title, and I'm not saying that to be smart or anything, I'm talking about the Epic Game Store debate. Your boy MM2K, for those of you that are just joining, and I'm glad Patricia, had me put this on pause to remind people that may not understand from the title. The Epic Game Store debate. We got a lot of people out here that say that PC gamers that are complaining about Epic Store just being babies, and they need to stop being babies. And it's deeper than that. Big ups to Philosopher Doom. Big up to Doom. Doom, my first supporter out here in these gaming streets, man. Y'all see the ticket down there. Donations humbly accepted. HTTPS streamlabs.com/MightyMost2000. I love y'all. Love me back. But yeah, thank you, Patricia, for having me reintroduce the topic of discussions here. But do y'all see what I'm saying? That's for my PlayStation people. Y'all talk, when I come back to y'all and say, This may be competition, but it's not competition that we should jump up about because it's not affecting us. Y'all excuses, it's going to coherently affect you because it's making things better for the devs. It's putting more money in the devs. Support the devs. But like I said, y'all ain't nothing but a bunch of Fordinos. For devs in name only. Because if you were for the devs, then y'all would have supported the Xbox style DRM that was happening in 2013. What the hell happened there? Y'all didn't like it, so y'all spoke up. Y'all fought it, and y'all feel like y'all have accomplished because of it. And it is what it is. Same thing happening here. So shut the hell up. Next in line. Oh, I wasn't going to forget you bots. I was not going to forget you bots, because you bots are crazy. Even though I came up with the Fordino and I had to slap the ponies with the Unity ring. Oh, I got you bots. It's even worse for y'all. It's even worse for y'all, as always. Y'all messing up all over the place here this generation. Because y'all had the audacity to sit out here and say, why are y'all complaining about the Epic Store? Because it's missing some features. So what? So what about these features? Okay, y'all are used to them. But so what? You're still getting the raw game. Who cares about features? My bad, y'all. My bad. I got disconnected. I'm not sure where we last left off at. Because I was smacking my table. Oh. Uh-oh. All right, my bad, peoples. My bad, peoples. We're live again. I got too excited. Was kicking and smacking my, what's it called, and it messed up. So I'm back. I'm just gonna recycle this page. All right, come on. We're gonna reload. What is going on? Okay, reload. Something went wrong. I know, internet. I know something went wrong. What the hell happened? Okay. Oh, come on, baby. Come on, baby. Okay, let's do this. Because now I don't want to cooperate with a brother. Oh, crap. Hold on, let me stop here. Okay, let's do this because I don't know if it is. It's not. Oh, man, what the hell?